Welcome to Katie's side of the workshop. But I've got a huge problem, a really big problem. And it's a bit of a pain because, as you can see, Katie's already moved into this bit. I've put her shelves in, that sort of thing, but we have a gap problem. Now that things are drying out, now that things are settling down, these back boards have got huge gaps in. So in this video, I'm going to try and fix that in the used area. Let me just show you a little bit closer. I'll turn the lights off and you'll be able to see daylight. Not sure if you can see from this close up, but that corner there, the top strip, you can see daylight all the way down. The boards have lifted that much. Let me go and grab you and move you over there a little bit. So, hopefully you can see that top board. The boards have settled down so much. We've got boards here as well. This has all been painted and you can see gaps of unpainted wood. So these boards have settled down and shrunk with the drying. So in this video I've got to try and fix that. Now in the instructions and their technical support, it just says remove anything you've put on the walls and let it all settle down. Well, when you've put shelves in like that and they're screwed into the frame, but that's not the problem. That post you put in the corner, they're only screwed at the bottom. It says only put screws at the top to allow for settling. I didn't think it'd be settling that much. So it's actually too long. What I would have done if I'd have known it was going to shrink that much is I'd have pinned it at the top and then left a 10mm, 20mm gap at the bottom so that as it settled down it'll just drop. But I didn't think the boards would shrink. I just thought things would settle. So what I'm going to do, I've undone the screws at the top already yesterday to see if it would make a difference, and it did a little bit. I'm going to cut that top piece. I've got one of those reciprocating little saws. So what I'm going to try and do without creating too much mess is if I cut the top off 10mm, then in fact even a little bit more than that, then hopefully things will drop down the other way around. So I'm sort of doing it the opposite. I'm going to do exactly the same in that corner and see how that does. Then I'm going to do my side as well. But this one's where they've got the gap. My side's not really shrunk that much. It's not too bad. But this is the worst corner here. So what I'm going to do is clear everything out, move things, get the vacuum cleaner and try and create as little dust as possible. Because my wife's stuff is resin. She makes resin. Well, the one thing you don't want is dust. So let me move you back over there and put the lights back on. Hopefully that's enough moved out of the way. I can get to it without breaking my neck. Typical, battery's gone flat. Let's try this one. More like it. One thing I've never used on this tool is the head actually moves from side to side. You can have it up there or like that. I think this is one situation where it might be better like that. Let's try it. going to go and do now, that closed already a little bit, the gap's on there. But I know from yesterday having a look at the outside, the actual outside has moved slightly, so it can't go down. So it's peeing down rain out there, but I'm going to go outside, pop up a ladder, give it a tap, gentle bit of persuasion, and hopefully the rest of that gap will close. So keep an eye on it for me, will you? Oh, yes. Look at that. That was... So you can see, or you might not be able to, I've got a cut line where I touched the wood on the outside, and I took out 20 mil, and it's come down half of that. So it's come down, there's only about a 10 mil gap there. So that's moved quite a lot. This is all sealed up, that's sealed up. Could do with being a little bit closer, but I'm hoping it'll wiggle itself free. It's weird how you can physically see some of the boards. We've got a gap here, quite a big one, but there's nothing really resting on that. Same on the opposite side. I suppose wood, the thing is, wood's a natural product, and I was delivered in the winter, so a lot of it was quite wet or damp. It's going to dry out, it's going to shift, so I was expecting it, but just not quite to this degree. That's the chunk I've pulled out, and it's sunk to half of that easy. So, and it's probably got a little bit further to go, but it has brought these back down again. This one I've moved already. So I think that basically takes care of that side, and I think it's the back where the most of the shrinkage is happening. There we go. So my tip, I might say this as well, is what would I do different on this when I was building this? So when I was building this, if I'd have known that the shrinkage would be quite so extreme, I'd have left that much off the bottom of these poles, because they've got to be in there, but I'd have left a nice bit off and then just screwed it at the top, and then it's got leeway to shrink downwards, because you're not going to see it. Well, I've got little skirting boards and it's black at the floor and grey with the carpet, so you wouldn't really see that these were hovering off the floor. So I would have pinned it at the top, probably not even pinned it at the bottom, and then it would have just moved and it wouldn't have been an issue at all. The bottom boards are all absolutely fine. These benches I've done are actually screwed through the walls because we've not got much structure, and I'm trying to keep as much stuff out of the rooms. I've screwed them from the outside, they're screwed through the building. But the bottom ones haven't moved in the slightest, and they've got a lot of weight on them. I think it's just as you get further up. But I really would have left that. So if you've got a BillyOH log cabin or one of the other ones, the Dunster cabins, and that sort of thing, same rule applies. Personally, I would have left a bit of a gap at the bottom. Quite surprised that the instructions are really good and they're detailed, and the way they thought these things out, I'd have thought they'd have put that in. But that shrunk down nicely. Cool, very happy with that. Right then, so I'm just going to go and quickly grab a paintbrush and touch that up, and then move everything of Katie's back.